Using nothing but his body fat, he blocks every cannonball fired at him. He grabs a ship anchor with one hand and captures the entire enemy fleet. He becomes the kingdom's greatest protector. He's not a superhero. He's just an ordinary guy who stumbled into a land of tiny people. This man is Gulliver. Back in New York, he works in the mailroom of a newspaper. He's shy and lacks confidence. He lives in his own fantasy world. He can't bring himself to tell Darcy, the travel editor, how he feels about her. One day, Darcy gives Gulliver a chance. She sends him to report on the Bermuda Triangle and surrounding waters. Gulliver accepts the assignment. A tour guide sets him up with a small yacht. Gulliver sails into Bermuda waters alone. The long voyage makes him drowsy. When he wakes up, his boat is caught in a violent storm. Massive waves toss him from bow to stern. Gulliver tries calling for help on his phone. A giant waterspout sucks him and the entire boat into the air. Everything comes crashing down. Gulliver regains consciousness on a strange beach. Hundreds of tiny ropes bind his body. He looks around in shock. Hundreds of people the size of his fingers surround him. They're securing him to the ground with various tools. Gulliver tries to break free. The tiny general orders his soldiers to stab Gulliver's feet with spears. Other soldiers throw ropes around his body and pull him back down. Gulliver passes out again. Hundreds of tiny people transport Gulliver on carts to the kingdom's capital. Citizens flood the streets to see the giant visitor. The general brings Gulliver before the king. The king sees him as nothing but trouble. He orders Gulliver locked in a cave outside the city. In the cave, Gulliver meets Horatio. This young man was imprisoned here for pursuing the princess and angering the general. They quickly become friends. The next day, the general decides to put Gulliver to work. He chains Gulliver up and makes him plow barren land outside the city. Suddenly, alarms sound. Enemy spies have infiltrated the palace. They're setting fires everywhere and kidnapping the princess. The general, who loves the princess, orders Gulliver back to the palace immediately. Horatio secretly unlocks Gulliver's chains. He wants to rescue the princess. The spy nearly escapes. Gulliver reaches out and grabs him. The princess is safe. The king is still trapped inside the burning palace. Gulliver thinks of a solution. It's not dignified, but it works. He puts out the flames in his own unique way. King Theodore doesn't punish him for the awkward method. Instead, he declares Gulliver a hero in front of everyone. To thank him for saving his life, the king invites Gulliver to a celebration feast. He builds Gulliver a mansion by the sea. At the banquet, Gulliver lies and claims he's the president of Manhattan. The king believes every word. His respect for Gulliver grows even stronger. Gulliver asks Horatio about his progress with the princess. The young man has no idea how to talk to women. Gulliver starts coaching Horatio on how to win the princess over. Armed with modern romantic ideas, Horatio uses sweet words and unique dance moves to capture the princess's heart. That night, Gulliver gets word that his yacht wreckage has been found. Once the boat is repaired, he can return to New York. Gulliver checks his phone voicemails. They're all from Darcy. She sounds disappointed and angry. His mood hits rock bottom. After thinking it over all night, Gulliver decides to stay in the tiny kingdom. The king is thrilled. He immediately appoints Gulliver as the kingdom's general. The former general becomes second in command. Edward can't accept this arrangement. His pride won't allow it. He sneaks into the control room and shuts down all coastal defense systems. The rival kingdom has been waiting for this moment. They mobilize their entire fleet and attack. The king asks for Gulliver's help. Gulliver takes off his shirt and walks into the sea alone to face the enemy. Countless warships open fire on Gulliver. The cannonballs hit his body but cause no serious damage. Gulliver stands tall. He uses the impact force to bounce the cannonballs back. Multiple warships explode. He grabs all the anchor ropes and drags the entire fleet back to shore. The crisis is over. This victory sends Gulliver's reputation through the roof. Giant portraits of him cover the streets. People rush to buy merchandise with his image. Jealousy consumes the general. He takes robot blueprints he found in Gulliver's cabin and defects to the enemy kingdom. One day, Gulliver is talking with citizens in the square. Alarm bells ring. A massive red metal device appears outside the city gates. Inside is the general who betrayed the kingdom. Gulliver walks out to face him. The metal device rapidly transforms into a giant robot. Gulliver realizes he's outmatched. He tries to retreat. The robot grabs him and lifts him into the air. To save his life, Gulliver surrenders. He admits all his heroic stories were fake. The truth shocks every citizen. Edward banishes Gulliver to a deserted island. As Gulliver climbs off the raft, a giant glass bottle falls from the sky. Gulliver wakes up in a room. Someone has changed his clothes into something strange. The entire room shakes violently. The walls lift away. A giant face appears before him. This time, Gulliver has landed in a kingdom of giants. To them, he's the tiny one. That night, Gulliver finds a skeleton in a flight suit in the room. Just as despair sets in, Horatio finds him. Horatio tells Gulliver that Darcy came to the tiny kingdom looking for him. Now the general has her locked in the cave. Gulliver immediately straps on the parachute the pilot left behind. He uses the ocean winds to fly toward the tiny kingdom. Gulliver quickly reaches the cave where Darcy is held. With help from King Theodore and the Queen, he finally works up the courage to tell Darcy his true feelings. This time, Gulliver won't run away. He's going to challenge the general. He's going to help restore peace to the kingdom. The battle begins. Gulliver immediately falls behind. The robot's powerful electric current leaves him defenseless. Gulliver is about to lose. Horatio crawls inside the robot and cuts the power lines. Gulliver seizes the opportunity. He jumps onto the robot's back and attacks furiously. He rips out the transmission system. The robot is completely destroyed. With Gulliver's mediation, the two kingdoms put their hatred aside. They establish peaceful relations once again. Gulliver and Darcy begin their journey back to New York. This fantastical adventure will change their lives forever.